Greetings, Star Warriors, and welcome to the Outer Rim. Today I am going to review the Solo trailer. And I debated reviewing this trailer because we knew it was imminent, but I didn't believe it was going to be interesting enough to warrant my commentary. I didn't want to make a boring video. But it wasn't any more than 5 minutes after I had uploaded yesterday's video that some of you were asking about the trailer. So I hope this video turns out to be less boring than I expected it to be. Now, I'm not going to say that the Star Wars trailers from the 80s and the 70s were great. I think they have a certain historical quality that makes them really great. And of course, the movies I think are great, so make of that what you will. But the trailers in the 70s and 80s basically told you something about what the movie was going to be about. You know, they had a guy that narrated it and told you what the plot was, based generally, you know. Kind of like most other movie trailers. You know, they kind of had like the tortilla guy, you know, who would kind of go, the little tortilla boy guy, who would kind of go,
this summer, one man will sell his tortillas.
And then they'd have Schwarzenegger out there doing his dialogue from the movie, you know, sort of,
get down, get the tortillas, those are mine, get to the chopper.
The original Star Wars trailers were like regular trailers, only they were Star Wars. They would give you important information without giving you the entire story. Somewhere along the line, Star Wars stopped doing that. And Disney has sort of carried on the tradition of not giving you any details about the story, at least in the episodic films. Now, in the sort of anthology, Star Wars story, quote-unquote, movies, they seem to have a little bit more to tell you about what's going on. These days, all the trailers do is try to tell you that, you know, this is still Star Wars, this is the Star Wars universe, here's something new, here's something old, and yada yada yada. You don't get any dialogue from the characters, you don't know what's going to happen in this movie at all, you just know that there's good guys and bad guys and they're fighting each other. That tells me nothing about how the story, what the story is about. I get no sense of how good or bad the movie is going to be or whether or not I want to see it based on the story. All I get is special effects and CGI, and my opinion of those these days is they're easy. As long as you have the money to pay for them, you can make them look as amazing as you want them to be. Every movie can do that. This is not something that is special to Star Wars. Star Wars used to be able to set the standard for filmmaking for years on, but now it seems like Star Wars has taken to following what other movies have done. You know, it's kind of like other movies are the sheep herder, and Star Wars is the sheep. I have to wonder what that makes of the people who are just jumping for joy for anything that says Star Wars on the front cover of it. But I'm going to get into what I thought about the Solo trailer now. And what I thought of the Solo trailer wasn't much. I mean, one of you guys pointed out that it looked like Blade Runner, and I'd have to say that's very accurate with one small caveat. All the Blade Runner movies have the actual Harrison Ford in them. So that's a big check minus against Solo. Which brings me to the actor portraying Han Solo. And I'm going to try once to say his name. Alden I give up. I give up. I will not be saying his name this episode. Anyway. What can I say about this? I mean, I think Tyler Durden may have said it best in Fight Club. Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken. You know, you can try and ruffle and poof this guy's hair to make it look like Harrison Ford's hair, but it won't be Harrison Ford. He doesn't have the mannerisms, he doesn't have the natural style. You can say this is a younger version of Han Solo, but how much younger? Is this the teenage version of Han Solo? And if it is, I mean, seems like he's the type of character who's trying to compensate for his youth by growing facial hair. I don't remember Han Solo with facial hair. Not that that's a huge deal for me, it's just something that kind of stood out. I have to wonder why they chose to do that. I mean, he was sort of doing a faux cocky type character. And you can also say, well, he's younger. He's, you know, the brash young Han Solo. And what I have to say to that is Han Solo was already brash and young. So again, how much younger is this guy? You know, he seemed more like the cocky version of Luke Skywalker, you know. Luke Skywalker as if he was trying to behave like Han Solo or something like that. But I've always had really bad feelings about this film because I've known for a long time that both Chewbacca and Lando were going to be in the movie. And the Millennium Falcon, I had a pretty good idea that it was going to be in the movie as well. So it seemed like nothing but a quote-unquote fan service film, and I don't know how many of the actual fans who, you know, are mostly interested in the Han character are interested in that sort of fan service. I certainly am not. I don't want this to be a film where let's get all the old gang together and tell you about how they met in one movie. I think, let's say that I think that the Han Solo movie could be a good idea and that I think they should do it. It goes without saying that I think that it should be done a certain way. Okay. Let's even say that I like this actor as Han Solo. So my only problem is the story. Basically, we're going to get a story, one movie about how Han, Chewie, Lando, and the Millennium Falcon went on their early adventures. I'd say that's a huge mistake. If you're going to do Han Solo, then you need to do more than one film. I don't want to see Han and Chewie and Lando getting together to go on some sort of fellowship adventure together in the first film. And here's why. If I'm to believe that the creators of this film actually care about the character and the story and telling a great story with the character, then I want to see some progression. I don't want to see flashbacks. I don't want to see visions, you know. I don't want to see large jumps in time. And that was one of the strong things about Star Wars. You didn't get this thing that takes you out of the moment, you know, in the original trilogy, or really even in the prequel trilogy. You were never taken out of the moment. You were in the moment and you stayed in the moment and you went nowhere but forward. Okay. I'm led to believe that in this movie this movie is going to span years. I'm led to believe anyway. He's going to join the Empire or the Imperial Academy or whatever. And then he's going to meet Chewbacca, and then he's going to become a smuggler, and then he's going to meet Lando, or it's going to go something like that, and eventually he's going to get the Millennium Falcon from Lando. That's what I have to believe all of that is going to happen in this film. And if it doesn't take years, but if all these things happen in a matter of like weeks or days, then it's even worse than if it takes years. Because at that point, they're packing everything we've ever learned about Han Solo's past into one film. For what reason? It's because they don't care. I've got a great idea. How about we take one or two things we know about Han Solo's past, make a movie around that, and everything else we have to guess at? How about he meets Chewbacca in this film, and Lando's nowhere in sight? Or it could be the other way around. You know, I mean, it doesn't make a difference at that point. I think it's too much, and it just tells me that they don't really care about this movie. They're just trying to put out another throwaway Star Wars film. And I value the characters more than that. I mean, all this looks like to me is the Fast and the Furious in space. You know, that's it. I don't intend to like bash this movie just from seeing the trailer, but I can already tell there's no depth to it. Does that mean it can't be a good movie? Of course not. It can be a good general movie. Can it be a good Star Wars movie? Not in my estimation. You know, I think this should be, it's alright if it's some sort of romance story in there, but it should be somehow about how Han Solo joined the Imperial Academy, met Chewbacca, became a smuggler, and it sort of stops there. Find some way to stop the story there. Continue it later, with, you know, how he met Lando and got the Millennium Falcon and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's how you tell a story if you care about that story. If you don't care about that story, then you throw all the goofy bubbles and boggles in there. Boggles and whatever the term is. All at once. And if the movie does well at the box office, then you can maybe conjure up a second one. To me, there's no integrity in doing that. And so that's how I kind of see this trailer. The special effects, the sets and everything can look great. That's easy to do. Every movie can do that now as long as they have a big studio backing it. I'm not impressed by any of that. The music, John Williams has already written that music and all they're doing is derivatives of it. I'm not impressed by any of that. Quite literally, the only way a Star Wars movie can impress me now is if they're going to do great story stuff. That's the only way. Star Wars, in order to impress me, needs to become a film leader again. And I'm not talking about box office leader. That's, you know, Star Wars is a box office leader because it's living off the past. You know, Star Wars would be nothing without the past, and they can say kill it, all they want, but that's bullshit. Give me compelling characters, give me compelling story, and then I'll sit through, an enjoyable couple hours of special effects and explosions and everything. Without that, it might as well be Kitchen Wars, for all I care. I don't care how much money you spent on special effects. Give me good acting, give me good story, give me good characters. Otherwise, if I looked up at the solar eclipse and maybe squinted my eyes, this guy might resemble Harrison Ford a little bit. Before I end this, I'd like to take a moment to show my appreciation for my newest patron, Michael Simon. I'd like to thank you for your contributions to this channel. It is very, very, very much appreciated, and I hope I can continue to entertain you into the future. Thanks so much. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and, as always, if you're listening, you are the new rebellion. You are the new rebellion. You are the new rebellion.